Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name's Worldology. Today, Battlefield made a good decision to put Battlefield 6 back on track. Alright, so I'm going to get into this video. Battlefield 6 first, the most important changes into the game at this current moment is a reverted movement slide changes, right? The movement is back where it is actually supposed to be. It's not too OP, there's still some type of nerfs in the movement that you can obviously feel, but the slide is more free and you can actually do more with the slide now instead of like having one slide and you can't do anything, right? And there's a good reason on why this is actually supposed to be how it's supposed to be, and it's a good change, especially for bringing a map like the base in the background, right? So again, this is a meat grinder map. Having movement like how it was in the past, hopefully it stays in the past. It isn't a good thing to have slow movement where we can't get out of meat grinder situations and in meat grind situations, right? So that's just a general thing on, that's a good change that DICE made. Still some more changes supposed to be made in this game. Obviously was a BF lab tester. There are some things that was changed from my POV, but this is literally how it felt a little bit on the final lab test build I played, right? Still some good things to be brought into this game. Good move forward for the movement change. And new attachment styles. They added the violet laser and the blue laser. The 50 violet or 50 or 150 violet and the 50 or 150 blue. You'll see it on the screen. It's not necessarily too big of a deal because obviously it takes more points that you currently need to put on your weapon. Obviously there are better builds out there in this game in the first place, so just use your attachment points on better weapon builds and use it with a grain of salt. Obviously you can try those two laser sights, but they're not necessarily going to change your type of playstyle, right? So the next thing that they added was, obviously I already have my thoughts on the Scorpion and the other Scorpion, the hand Scorpion and the SMG Scorpion. They're both pretty, the SMG is pretty decent because I already felt it. The Scorpion, the hand Scorpion isn't a good weapon. Obviously they should have probably put more attachment points or maybe more base rounds for the score, but other than that, it's not necessarily a good secondary. So just take that with a grain of salt as well. It's not necessarily too much you can do with that. But I will say that if DICE, if y'all are adding Scorpions into the game and adding automatic weapons, why not just add the G18 or the 93? Y'all just add either of those. That would be pretty cool if y'all add that. And seeing how it can play on a game like this, it would be pretty fun. So how do y'all feel about the new hagental base, or however you call it? Hagental base. How do y'all feel about this map? I already stated that of course the map is going to be a nostalgia factor for this map because obviously it's just how it's supposed to be. It's a good layout map. It's a good, meat grind map. People said it refers, the map layout refers to lockers. In my opinion, it refers to Black Friday, in my opinion, from Hardline. That's the layout, but obviously it doesn't refer to how the map design looks like in person and how you see it in game. But I think the layout is kind of similar to the Black Friday layout. And speaking of Battlefield Hardline, hey, Battlefield Hardline might be getting some love. Battlefield DICE asks the community what are your favorite moments from Battlefield Hardline? What are your favorite moments from Battlefield Hardline? I don't think I ever heard anything Battlefield relating to Battlefield Hardline in about a decade now. It's really the first time I ever heard an official post from Battlefield talking about Hardline, because obviously everything regarding with Battlefield Hardline and the community not liking it, and multiple studios going down because of it, aka Visceral, and hopefully they can come back if DICE y'all do bring Battlefield Hardline 2 into the franchise. Obviously this can be a better future for Hardline because we're not in that era of people wanting the major like World War type games, and Battlefield 6 isn't necessarily as good as 4, so Battlefield Hardline 2 can be the best option for a next modern game, but obviously it needs to be in a way that people complain that, oh yeah, we need more military skins and stuff like that and blah blah. Well, then we can just add the store, because obviously live service, and then we can have more different military outfits, like, you know, the three-letter agencies, ATF, FBI, CIA, whatever. I don't know if I can even say those letters, but if I can, you're gonna have to get, because I'm gonna keep saying what you gonna do about it. But again, Battlefield Hardline 2, it might be in play. Obviously, there are some things about the Battlefield Hardline map downtown coming into Battlefield 6. I don't know. They can try it on this game to see how Battlefield Hardline 2 would be, but obviously I'm making too fast of assumptions on the Battlefield Hardline 2. But I think, since I don't even know if BC3 can be produced or anything about that, the next modern game, which I don't even know if, you know, everybody wants to see another World War I or World War II game for a Battlefield franchise, or even another FPS franchise. I don't know. The next modern game would be the cops and robbers scene. But my overall ideas on Battlefield Hardline 2 is, you know, just make it better than 1 and make it better. And how do y'all feel about Battlefield Hardline 2 presumably being thought about? How do y'all feel about the post on the official post was actually people actually really admiring Battlefield Hardline? So I wonder what y'all thoughts on that. My main final points on this new season, season 2 part 2, is guys, y'all are going into the right direction. This is literally how it's supposed to be. Obviously we got, you know, rug pulled the first time, and we got, you know, rage baited or tricked for this build that I played and other people played, and actually finally being in the game on the part 2 release. So it was a pretty funny joke, but that literally can be a last straw for a game. So, well, like, make more consistent, better updates and then do the jokes. But again, my final thoughts on part 2 is that part 2 is pretty good. Just keep coming, guys. Hopefully is not another rug pull and we don't get a bad update. And just know that the movement changes aren't too overpowered. You can still do something with the game. You can still, you know, we don't have to be in a meat grinding where nobody can go anywhere, because, you know, the insane amount of gadgets in the game, flashbangs, the incendiary GLs, and like just every gadget that supports the meat grind can be utilized by having fast flow. And my final thing about the controller on being able to kill you behind the walls, my thing about that is I think that we're just too slow for the game. Obviously we had the slowest movement in the game, and I just think that there are times when I went out and reacted as fast as I could to go behind cover by getting killed by a controller player, but I still died behind the wall. Thing with me dying behind the wall is I do not feel the lag that I felt every time I did die behind a wall to actually notice that I got killed by a controller player. So I think it's just the movement, the slow movement in the game being the slowest movement. Obviously it probably needs to be adjusted, and we're just gonna have to see whenever Gofo Gomad comes up, or Goldman Railway. I don't know why I said Gofo Gomad, but Gomad Railway. Whenever that comes into the game, we're just gonna have to literally make the movement faster. You're just gonna have to do that, because you can't change the movement speed in a game like this with so many variety of map design changes, right? And especially that you're going to need that movement with all the vehicles going to be in the game, and the vehicle changes. That's my thoughts on the season. How do y'all feel about the new season part 2? Hey, drop your thoughts, have your thoughts in your head, keep playing the game, and hopefully we can just stay on a correct path. And that's all I'm gonna say for this video, and I'm out. Few little rats with him. Few little rats with him. Oh man.